It's your favorite individual. Blah. Oh dear. Hello. Thanks for watching. Oh, Jesus help me. Let's have some more water. Right. So, I it was my birthday the other day, and so I opened some champagne. I've got a little cork. I'm thinking what to do with that. I have no idea. Anyway, um, I wanted to. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a full like enchilada about. I had some champagne tonight too because I thought, well, why not? It's still like a whole bottle. I didn't drink the whole bottle, but I mean, there's a whole bottle left because I had like a glass yesterday. So like, yeah. um. Pute. Yeah. So I'm working on Iridescent Panther. Which. Oh god. If I thought like hibiscus convertible was difficult, like this one is kind of grinding. Like it's not grinding, it's like grinding. So I'm using a lot of like effects in it actually, a lot of music effects and sound effects like the rain and birds, a lot bird song, and then I'm doing a lot of actually it's the second one really after Stolen Moments. It's kind of my first foray into this, and I guess it's significant for me because, of course, it's based on an individual who I call Mike, um, because I don't want to use his real name for his own, you know, privacy. But that being said, I do have a song that's named after him, so I'm like, what to do? Um, Fuck. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have to come to that. That's not in this album, and it's not in the last one. But it's something I'll have to ethically grapple with. Um, because I would like to use the name, and the name, because it works so well with the song that I created for it. Um, but yeah. So we'll see. I mean, I doubt. I'm not sure if he'll ever see this. I'm not sure if he'll ever see it, or if anyone will ever see it that he knows, or that. I mean, you don't know this stuff, so I mean, there's no point really like doing a counterfactual upon a future that might not happen. But anyway, um, just gotta be a little bit careful though, because you don't want to like cause any ruckus. Because I mean, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing any of this to I don't know, to hurt other people. I'm just doing it actually the opposite, funnily enough, because I'm so, well, me, that, how to describe it? Like, I want to convey to these people and convey to him. That's why I have such a grappling, such a dissonance with do I send it, do I not send it to them in the end, you know? Like sending Jag this thing or sending um, the Panther or Mika, they're the same person. This these, you know, I mean, at the end there might be 4 or 5 albums that I make about this individual. Um, Another one I probably have 3 or 4 as well, and you know, because there's so many ways that I want to express my lost sentiments. I suppose really they're of the past, of course, in that sense. You know, they're like lost, like in that sense, like how the French say like perdu, like lost, um, uh, yeah, like of the past. They're lost. They're like lost in the past. You know, it's like that. Um, partie perdue, perdu pain. Um, Otherwise known as French toast. Oh no, perdu pain. Yeah, no, yeah, pain perdu. Je n'en sais pas. Le pain premier, or I don't know which one's first. Anyway, the word, but whatever is French toast is like lost toast, pain perdu. Um, Alors, shit, fuck. Okay, English. Yeah. So what I was saying was, I'm trying to figure out, like my emotionality around this also because I'm creating a. I thought I was just going to do a very stock standard, um, similar to what I did with Hibiscus Convertible actually, where I would just sit behind the piano and just play it out and sing it as I did it. As much as I ever sing, but you know what I mean. Um, Still recovering from a cough. Sorry. Um, but I think to myself, actually, it took on a different flavor because I thought about it and I thought, wouldn't it be interesting if I was like to go to where this person's from, which is a small. No, that's not that small anymore. A small city in the south of India called Bangalore, or Bangalore, and it's funny. Like I also don't know. Like, should I put some Kennigan into it because I learned a bit of the language that this person spoke, in my sojourns into sort of vague insanity. Um, it's also vulgar. I was going to say vulgar insanity, but whatever. Um, but then I thought, I'm not sure. So then anyway, at the moment I'm doing a thing where I put on a voice, but I don't particularly like doing that. But I mean, I don't have anyone else to do it, and it just conveys what I want. That I'm this kind of like English-ish. Not that I'm English, but I assume that most people just associate white skin with, and if you speak English, then probably you're English. Um, Unless you sound like an American, I suppose, or a German or a French, they just assume you're probably English. So that's good enough for me. I'm just an English white cat. Oh, so this is the thing, and actually, I will make an album called Baku plus Mickey, or Baku and Mickey, or Baku. I'm not sure if it's gonna be plus. I don't think plus because that sounds a bit too mathematical. But I was kind of playing on this idea of because Bangalore is kind of the city of IT, one of them, but it's also a very it's just like Karnataka is the state, and Bangalore is Bangalore the capital? I think Bangalore is the capital actually. My auntie, she's actually, or my mamaji, she's actually from, I don't know why I call her mamaji, but anyway, she's from Bangalore, so she's actually Konkani, but she grew up in Bangalore, but she's from Bangalore. Um, oh my god, I haven't spoken to her for so long. I feel awful. But anyway, and her daughter, I kind of call my sister, like my bahen, which is a Hindi word, not as I know of a Canadian word, Canadian. Um, that's she lives in Bangalore the last before the pandemic, but she lives there now and she lived there sort of before. Very beautiful. And so it's kind of in my head this is what made me think, oh, I should write this album or I mean I've written already, so it was more just a composition of the musicality and the sound and the sonic. I wanted to create a sonic scape, I realised, like a landscape of sounds. And so I thought, okay, well, I'll do an introduction and I'll do a declaration and then I'll do an outro, like whatever, like a film almost, like a beginning, middle, and end, like pretty sequential. But then I thought, oh, wouldn't it be interesting if, as I said like earlier, wouldn't it be interesting if I went over to like his city rather than what happened, which was we met because of the inverse. That he came here, and of course I can't go. I haven't gone there. I can't go there because je suis pauvre, je suis pauvre. So that's a categorical reason. So I thought, well, instead I can create like a dreamscape, soundscape, whatever you want to call it, and explore that. And then I thought, oh yeah, well, because my sister lives there, then I could just create this as if it was in her house, and it was in the monsoon, so we stayed in the house, and we just did like a silly little like musical party because this is what they do actually. Mamaji was telling me and showed me like a few years ago. Of course, this is all many years ago before the pandemic, but I'm sure it will happen again. So I thought, well, wouldn't it be cool to kind of think about creating just for me, it's like an experiment, creating an album which sounds as if it's like a live album as much as I can make it sound like a live album, I guess, which is not very live. But anyway, you kind of create this. It's just as I say, it's an experiment. It's kind of fun to figure out how to create and layer these sound effects, in essence. Um, so that's what I'm attempting to do, and yeah, it's weird. I think because I've grown with a distance to the emotionality of Mike, of the Panther. Um, it's not as gut wrenchingly awful as it used to be, where I used to be like, hmm, I'm going to click on Instagram, or I'm going to just have a weird drink night, and then somehow this just slams into my head like orbital debris. There's like memory. Um, and hey presto, I'm like in tears on the floor, um, talking to other miscreants on or some other technological perversity. Um, aberration, aberration. So anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so I just thought to myself, well, I really want to explore. Um, I still want to explore it. I think what's helping me is to fragment it into these different musical projects. Actually, that I mean, it's all thematically about Panther, and because I learned so much from this person. I mean, I think it's important. I didn't say that before, but it's really categorically quite important for me in my creative process and my creative life. I suppose you could even say. And maybe if anyone watches this in the future, it might it might mean something. I doubt it, but you never know. You never know. Um, that he was the one, the muse or the person that inspired me because of all my pain and suffering. I mean, the memory of him inspired, not him literally. I mean, we haven't spoken for years, but and he's just, again, it's the same person I saw at Smart, and the same person at this. And other videos discuss this with more agility, perhaps, than this one shall. But the point being is that he's the catalyst for a lot of my creativity in terms of, and also my, I don't know, partly getting over the psychological hump of creating music, well, of creating period, but of creating music as well, which I only really had as a, along with a few, two or three other things, which one day I will actually go into, like what allowed me to finally do music. But he was one of the main, or is one of the main, I guess, because I haven't, yeah, as I say, there's other albums to make about him or inspired by him. So it's like that really. It's that weird thing where I realized, he really is a really important. I think I say this actually in the last bit because the last bit actually, the last song or the last part of Iridescent Panther is like a postscript, which is actually I was going to put it at the very beginning as like an introduction, but I realized I didn't want to do that on upon this difference that in terms of creating a sonic escape and la la la. So I thought to myself, oh, I'll put it at the bottom as like a bonus track. Super cringe, but anyway, whatever. I'm a '90s child, so it's alright, baby. Um, Christ. Anyway, and so I wanted to explain that there. Well, I do explain that there. It's like as if I had written the message to him, like over Facebook or something, or Instagram or whatever, that I was going to send him some other album altogether, like 3 or 4 other albums that I had created. So this is all kind of in the future perspective. And so that wasn't actually as bad as I thought it was going to be. So, and that's sort of what I suppose that is about. Which I mean, I'm. Actually I was in bed and I was trying to get to sleep, and for some reason this is maybe a few weeks ago now, and it came to me like to do that. And again, it's because of my ethical dilemma. I suppose it's primarily ethical. Um, I'm also just, I don't know if it's just that I'm like a shit cunt coward, or if it's like actually an ethical conundrum that I should not send. I mean, it is an ethical conundrum. I mean, don't fault me on that. It is for me. I don't I don't have a propensity to want to create drama. I don't want to create emotional dysregulation in other people in any way. I mean, I don't see the point in doing that. I'm doing all of this, as I've said, ad nauseum because I'm trying to process my own shit. And the only reason I would send it to someone, or the only reason I could find to justify sending it to someone who was the inspiration for it, I should say, is because maybe in my head it might help them. Like, it might say to them, you know, you are really beautiful, you are really unique, you are really worthy of love, and you are really worthy of desire, and you're really worthy of someone making a fucking uh, album of music about you, or making art about you, or whatever. Like, you're worthy of being a muse, I guess. But you're also worthy of just being a person. And fuck the homosexual bullshit, the underground, the scene, whatever you want to call it. These, like, things that are written in stone that you have to be, or the discrimination you face because of your, like, skin color, or because of where you're from, or your accent, or some fucking bullshit like this. I can't stand this shit. That, and I know it's my own. I don't, you know, ooh, but it's my own kind who are the sort of the people that do this. And I don't know, like, this is my perspective, and of course, if I don't explain this, maybe it comes across as a tokenization, as an exoticization, as a fetishization. And hey, fuck me. Perhaps it is. Perhaps it is. I really don't. I I don't know. I mean, I don't mean it to be that way. So all I know is what I know, which is, if I'm creating the fucking thing, I'm creating it, one, to, you know, look at myself through the other, and then two, to explore what it means to be, you know, alive in this time, in this age, to feel what it means to be alive, period, as a human, to feel desire, to feel passion, to feel love, to feel, you know, want, loneliness, sexual difference, like all of these things that I explored. So I'm not going to go into a fucking list of them, but yeah, like, listen to the music. That's why I made it, baby. Listen to the music; it'll explain everything. But yeah, so, you know, for me it's like that, and creating this one is really, really sentimental. It's really because, you know, you have this, like, preconceived idea of what it's going to be, or I do anyway. I think when a lot of artists, or whatever people do, creators, I don't have a script. Like, I'm not, none of anything I do is scripted. I mean, I write songs, and they're, like, written, but they're not a script. Like, sometimes I'm playing them or whatever, and I change one or two words, or a whole sentence, or I just delete a whole verse or something. Um, but I think a lot of the time, no. Like I've said ad nauseum also on this channel, for me, I want to be truthful. That's my idea of life, or my want in life, sorry, is to pursue truth. Hence another conundrum why in thinking about sending it to these individuals, it's like, well, I want to be truthful with them, even if we haven't spoken for years or something like this. But because I'm so shit at, like, talking to people, and I'm not shit, actually. I'm rather good in comparison to a lot of people. But I think at the same time, it's like, it's that thing where you go, like, what the hell do I say? Like, hello, Mika. Oh, like, I've spent the last 3 years, like, thinking about you and what you said and how we were, and I've replayed that night in your bed as if it was like a full-blown relationship at least 500 times in my head. Like, I could make a film, I probably will make some sort of a film about it, maybe with this, or probably not this, but probably another album. I'll make a music video. And it's that sort of thing, and, and you go, shit, man, like, how do you approach that? How do you say that to someone? It's not really done, right? Like, I think even for people, like, dangling off the spectrum, whatever. But I mean, even I comprehend that that would be really socially dyslexic, let's say. I mean, beyond dyslexically social. That would be, I don't know, like, yeah, so, yeah, it's difficult, like, what to say, what to do. So it's like, well, I create music to say it for me. Possibly. C'est possible. Because, again, I'm not sure if I'm going to sound it. Probably won't. But then at the same time, then on the other side, or whatever, another calculation, is that I go, fuck, we're all going to die. And I think to myself, like, fuck, man, wouldn't you want someone to, like, send that to you? Would I want someone to send that to me? if it was kind of beautiful and well made, and I mean, wouldn't it be crazy to like receive 2 or 3 years later? I mean, the provision that you even remotely remember the individual. It would be kind of weird if you just got like this random album from like this person that was like, oh, did we sleep together? I can't actually remember, because that wouldn't be great. But I don't know. I hope he would remember me. I mean, on some level. I mean, I'm being facetious. I'm pretty sure he did actually, because I remember seeing him and looking in his eyes for about a millisecond. But that's all I need, baby. That's all I need. And yeah, I'm like, you didn't forget me either. But um, I mean, I don't feel like there's many people in his life, right, or just people in sex, whatever, who you have like this really intense, passionate night with, and who like perfume their body like the Kama Sutra told me to, for example, uh, and then are really vulnerable with someone, which I was. That's why it's so seminal to me, for me, because I did something I never did before in terms of sex, which was I perfumed my entire body and stuff like this, and I thought I was a bottom for most of my life, and then I realised I wasn't. And men really don't know how to have sex, or gay men really don't know how to have sex. Like, to be tops, they really don't know. Because it's all pornographic, their dialectic of sexuality, the genealogies of it are pornographic. And so it's not something you really want to engage with unless you are heavily inebriated. And I'm not really like that, so it's that sort of thing. But anyway. And the other thing, of course, and the more significant thing than that sort of shit, was simply that I was really vulnerable with him, and that's why I created so much music and so much art from that engagement, because I felt, I feel a, I feel a dichotomy, because on one hand I feel like very, very grateful that he was very kind in many ways, but I also feel like quite not wronged, but I feel very not bitter either. I don't know how you'd explain it. I can't explain it right at this moment. But this feeling of sort of disappointment, maybe it's the word actually, because I really wanted to like connect with him, even if it was just as a friend. But I remember during the pandemic, like sending him something on the very beginnings of it, because of course that would have only been a few months after we'd even been together, and presumably, I think we were both the last people that we both. I think we were both for each other the last person that we slept with before the lockdown in 2020 in March. And so it's like that too. It's a weird, forever locked in a reality which no longer exists, like an ant locked in amber, trapped in amber. And I think that's sort of part of the sentimentality that I wanted to explore, convey, but it's also part of what I feel. And I feel that, I really, again, like I've explained in another video, I can't remember which one, might be the Hibiscus Convertible Reflections video. But anyway, that essentially what I'm doing with this music is creating, attempting to create, what a love affair would have looked like something longer than 12 hours. Which is not to say that, that a love affair can't be 12 hours long. I mean, of course, I think a full-fledged relationship is 12 hours long, simply because, 12 years or 12 hours, it's almost imperceptible, because I think I can make such a sort of wild claim, because the way that one person, or the way a person, period, does one thing is how they do everything, because people are not that duplicitous, they're not that self-aware in terms of their hypocrisy and contradictions. So, I would say that, I don't know, I think at the same time I would not have wanted to be, that's what I'm discovering doing this music, I would not have actually wanted to be in a relationship with Mike, because I see a lot of insecurities with him, and I see a lot of dark stuff, which, I'm not saying that I'm exempt from darkness, I have a shadow, God knows, but I'm exhibiting my shadow on this channel, this music, all the rest of it. My writing, of course, and my art, especially my art. I'm exploring my shadow, my this side of myself, because I want to integrate it into the light. I don't want to be disconnected from myself. Um, and it's not about getting another person to help you with that, right? In that sense, an intimate partner. It's actually about self-seduction, self-intimacy, self-love, etc., etc. Self-vulnerability, right? Self-honesty, self-intuitiveness, instinct. All these things I also talk about on this channel. You should really subscribe, right? You know? I don't get paid. So just do it. Like, I got some good shit to say, so yeah. And the music's not super bad. I mean, it's getting better, so I mean, hey, Bhagwan. But yeah. Um. So yeah. I don't know. I think it's gone for a bit long, but that's okay. I'll wind it up, Susie. Um. Yeah. I think I really want to explore more what it just means to be alive, and what it means to be a person, and what it means to be vital and creative without fear, and to lead with love. I mean, I really wish I could convey to these guys, to not just them, that whoever, women, men, whatever, um, like that they're worthy, and that they're already perfect as they are. Like, you don't need to become anything. You don't need to be all this shit that society or marketing, people, parents, whatever says. Because soon enough, maybe we're all gonna be part of the fucking geological record, you know, like the dinosaurs, you know. So I don't know. How do you like tell people that they're already free, but everywhere they walk in chains that they've really kind of just made for themselves? Like, just break your chains. Break your chains. Easiest way to break your chains is to realize that you're gonna die relatively soon, as well. You know, like, any dope can drop dead though, right? It takes a real fucking. It takes a real. I don't know. Like, it take a real spirit, a real resilience to live. Living is hard, baby. It is hard. But it's also fucking beautiful. It's squalor and glory all at once. And it's darkness, it's a shadow, and it's light all at once. It's paradoxical, it's hypocritical, it's 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 vibrant and violent. It's all of these like dichotomies you can go through, which I'm not gonna go through, but it's all of those things. And I think it's also a lot of failing. Most of life is failure. Most of life is not succeeding, is not being loved, is not being whatever, rich, top of the pile, whatever fucking shit you want to say. It's actually about it's actually about making these mistakes and going through life and going, fuck, wow, and coming to the end of it and going, wow, that was a really wild ride. Have like your years set on fire, like flaming years. Not this kind of like half-life pseudo existence that many people live because they're shit scared of what, being homeless? Of what? Someone saying, parents saying, oh well, because you didn't earn $1 million, they don't love you. Like, why would you want parents validation if that was their point of view? Like, do you have such self disdain? No. So jolly well get up and do something. I mean, if me, if I can make music, it's not as big. Well, you listen, it was awful to begin with, but it's becoming almost legible now. I mean, the dogs don't wail anymore as I play the music on my stereo, so they're not my own music. So I feel that that's like an affirmative. I feel that's quite a step up. If the dogs are not barking at you, you're doing something right, I feel. But I mean, seldom do I walk by a place where someone doesn't throw an egg or a cabbage or the dogs bark So, but eventually I will walk in total fucking silence. I will walk with my beauty in silence. No, I hope not. That would be awful. I hope that I'm always sort of accosted by the sort of vague echo-like barks of a dog, of a bull terrier or something, or a hungry Labrador. But yeah, and I think that's the thing. You really have to go through life and like look at it quite humorously because the fucking thing's absurd, man. Like just to begin with, I mean, it's like you realize you're on a spinning like drop of water in the middle of the cosmos, essentially. What is the Earth? 79% water or something. So essentially, it's a spot of fucking water. It's a drop of water, suspended in a sunbeam, hurtling through space at like 70,000, 700,000 kilometers an hour or something, and around a supermassive black hole. It's like circling. It's like a particle of, I don't know, like dust circling around a drain in your kitchen or something. My notorious kitchen with its dripping fucking tap. But and so it's like that. In what the kids say, a nutshell. So why not create? Why not scream into the pillow or the wall or the, I don't know, the tree or the street? Why not dance like no one's watching you? Because really, ultimately, no one is. They don't give a shit. They're too drunk, they're too high, they're too self-involved. Most people don't notice you for more than, what? Like Mach 5? Like, I don't know, 10 seconds? Not even. And then they get on with their life. And if they make fun of you or something, or they point and laugh, well, 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 that says more about them, doesn't it, than it says about you. So I feel that that's sort of probably quite a salubrious place to leave this particular message into the void, the electronic void, which is the multimedia universe we call the internet. God. It's such an abomination. Anyway, okay, thanks for watching. I'm going to leave it there, Kiddlywinks, and tune in for my album when it comes out, okay? Because there'll be more of this sonic disturbance to follow. One day, I will stop making music, and I will retract back into total fucking silence, and it will be beautiful. It will be crypt-like. It will be the ultimate sound of the universe is, of course, silence.